I'm Dustin Baker. I'm a small business owner, SBA lending professional, and a strong believer in the power of entrepreneurialism to bring the best out in our communities. 2020 was tough, but I believe we're resilient. So I'm traveling the country, talking to small businesses and the SBA lenders who help them succeed in order to prove it. We're on a mission to build community through shared story. No airports for me. This is my chariot. The road is calling. We're gonna do some fun stuff, and you really need to come watch it because it's gonna be amazing and all the cool kids are doing it. So join me on the SBA Roadshow. It's a beautiful day in Mississippi, but we're about to be in Tennessee.
On the dusty Winnemucca Road,
we're on our way.
when along came a semi with a high and canvas covered load. Little valley, it feels like and so I climbed.
I think it's
into the
that
cab and I settled
email
down
that we sent
inside.
out. The SBA Roadshow is entering Tennessee,
State 4,
Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee.
Number 4.
All right, 46 to go. We're in Franklin, Tennessee.
Tuesday the 26th.
Here we go. We're going to talk to Jamie Trull with Balance CFO. She's a business owner. She's a coach to thousands, literally thousands of women-owned small businesses in all stages. And she is one of our favorite people in the industry. So we're really excited to introduce you to Jamie. Where all the magic happens.
Well, hey there! I feel like now that you have all of this stuff, you're gonna have to do, like, you're gonna have to become, I don't know, you could do one of those taxi cab shows, be an Uber driver and like film it.
Welcome to Cash Cab.
So we built here 3 years ago. There were no houses.
Is this still Franklin or are you in Arrington?
No, it is still Franklin, believe it or not, even though it's the middle of nowhere. But it was all farmland three-ish years ago, and we knew, because we were moving back here from Atlanta and we're from here originally, that we just love the area so much. Like, we always knew we would come back here. It's interesting to see, like, the evolution though of downtown Franklin, because it was, you know, small, quiet downtown. Like you said, the Franklin Theater had an actual movie theater in it, you know. And then there was a time period, I guess it must have been like .com bubble maybe,
Yeah, around that time.
and around 01 when things kind of started to change a little bit, and it just like turned into a ghost town. And I don't know, I think because I think when the economy started getting better, businesses started coming back in and doing well, and then we had such an influx of new population into the area too, that loved the like quaint downtown, that supported it. And so I think there is something, yeah, it really did. It's so funny because I started my business really because I wanted to have more flexibility. I came from a job, literally I left a job going through that merger transaction at my corporate job, working 60, 70, 80 hours every single week for months and months and months at a time, with one child at home, one small child at home, and I had another one on the way, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. This isn't right. I think it's like what a lot of business owners deal with, which is I didn't want to be beholden to anybody else. I was like, I can do something myself. And it started out very small and very, you know, with the intention of making some extra money, and then turn into something completely
it just morphs, right? And then you're like, oh my gosh, I found my calling.
Yeah, I think when you're in a like corporate job, there's a lot more of what you know is kind of the scarcity mindset. Being there's only so much to go around. I got to compete for things. And some business owners can be that way, but I think the successful business owners are the ones that recognize that when somebody else succeeds, everybody succeeds.
Yeah. Jamie, we have done this from about 1,000 miles apart several times. I'm really delighted to be able to do this in person.
Yep, you're right here.
And this is where like the magic happens that you've created for thousands of small business owners. So I see the wall here.
You can see the actual
the plants hanging on the wall. It's like I feel like I stepped onto a movie set here to some extent. So tell people kind of who you are and tell us a little bit about your Business Balance CFO.
Yeah, I'm Jamie Trull, and I am what I call a profit strategist and financial literacy coach. So that's kind of the moniker I would put myself under now in my business. I am a CPA by designation, by previous trade. But now what I do is basically educate on financial literacy, specifically for business owners, usually geared towards women, but we also have a lot of men in our audience as well.
And when did you start Balance CFO? What? Put us in. Give us a timestamp for the genesis of the company.
So it started out kind of 2017, but it has changed a little bit over time. So in the beginning, I was doing more traditional accounting for people, so helping with bookkeeping, taxes, things like that. And then I transitioned into more strategic work, being a virtual CFO, but it was still one-to-one. So I had multiple different clients that were small businesses that I worked with and helped them really kind of understand strategically their numbers. That's where I love to step in and just show people how accessible it can be, how easy it can be, and honestly, like how fun it can be.
Yeah.
So I worked one-to-one for a long time and just felt like I could make a bigger impact. Felt like I wanted to make a bigger impact. I saw the need that was really there in the marketplace for this kind of understandable education, because I started kind of giving it away for free, and I was just attracting people in droves who, wanted to hear what I had to say about finances, which just blew my mind a little bit at the beginning. I'm like, really? You want to hear me talk about taxes? Okay. And so it just kind of grew on itself. And I realized there was a lot of people, there was a huge just chasm of financial knowledge that was missing in a lot of small business owners that they wanted and they craved it, but they didn't know where to find it in a way that it was going to make sense. So I guess I'm technically an online educator now.
Okay.
I don't know. But basically virtually being able to kind of create online courses and things like that business owners could take either when they're first starting their business or even if they've been in business for a long time and just feel like they need a better handle on this stuff. And so that's where we are now. So it really started probably in July of, I'm trying to remember my years now, 2019. That's when I started my Facebook group, which is my kind of main avenue for really connecting with people. And so we started that Facebook group and it just took off. Like it just really quickly, I got a lot of people, a lot of traction into it. And that's how I knew, okay, there's something here.
Yeah.
There's something people are looking for. There was a lot of misinformation on the internet, right? So
oh, no way.
Right, yeah, exactly. Especially like Facebook. So there's a lot of misinformation. I was just like, we need a safe space. We need a space where people can come and actually get like actual answers and get trainings and have a place to ask the questions to that they might be afraid to ask somewhere else. And by the next February or so, we had about 5,000 members in it. So it grew pretty quickly.
Wow. Okay.
But not as quickly as what happened next.
Well, and so February, you said how many in February? About 5,000? Okay. How many people are on that Facebook group?
We've got over 32,000 business owners in the group. Before, we were teaching people how to maximize their profit, right? Teaching people how to manage their money within their business. Well, then all of this hit and businesses were shut down and nobody wanted to know how to maximize their profit anymore because nobody had any revenue coming in. They're like, I don't care about any of that right now, JD.
Yeah.
So if I had kept showing up with the same things that I'd always shown up with, it would not have been the same, right? So all of the sudden, overnight, I started getting all of these questions about the new proposals at the time that they were talking about for small businesses, which then became the CARES Act.
Yeah, the congressional, stimulus package discussion.
The stimulus package discussions. And so I just said, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna read it and figure out how to answer these questions because there was no one even nobody was an expert in this. You couldn't go to YouTube and search for that at that point. No. There was nothing there because no one knew what any of this was.
Brand new.
What's a PPP loan? How the heck do you get, And it was changing minute by minute. Like, I think we all remember that in the very beginning, where it was just like the rules seemed to be just this ever-evolving nebulous of confusion.
And it wasn't rules, it was series after series of frequently asked questions documents
Yes.
that really...
And interim final rules. So I just said, okay, well, there's no expert in this, so I guess I'm gonna become an expert in this. I don't know. I have the qualifications, I got the letters after my name, I guess I can read this and try to teach it to people in a way that makes sense. So that's what I did. I just read 800 pages of the CARES Act. That was not fun. It took a little while. I remember that day. I read it all in a day. I remember that day so well. I had coffee. I don't know how much coffee I drank. I did not start drinking coffee until I became a business owner.
Yeah, well,
And now, that's all.
That's a shared story with many people.
I
that are
cannot
gonna
tell you how
listen to
much
this,
coffee I went through. And I read the whole thing, and then I just started showing up pretty much every day in my group. I would do a live that was about, here's what's going on, here are the changes since yesterday, here are the things you need to do, here are the banks that are open. I found you guys to partner with to get people, because in those early days, people couldn't get loans.
How do we get through the process? And so you are connected now to 5,000, 9,000, 17,000, like that exploded in that time. And so the number of people that were depending on you for that information just continued to scale up over that period of time. Talk a little bit about kind of your experience of community, people cheering each other on, these sort of things that you got a cat's or a bird's eye view of during this period of time.
That's been one of, I think, the neatest things to see is just people helping other people. In this, I have made some of the best friends of my life, like just through growing through this crisis, and they're all entrepreneurs, business owners who I feel like you kind of get it. You get each other a little bit more, you know, when you've been through not just COVID. I think COVID was part of it too, but just opening a business and running a business and the challenges you have, right? These businesses are people, right? There are stories behind every single one of these businesses. And I think sometimes we don't necessarily see that. We don't look for it, right?
Yeah.
But I tell you, I mean, I would be up at 2:00 in the morning and reading through all the DMs that I was getting. And it would just be story after story of just heartbreaking stories about what people were going through, because I do tend to carry like those stories, listening to those stories, and in some cases maybe I could help, and sometimes I couldn't. And I just and the just the whole idea that somebody was dealing with a struggle and there wasn't anything I could really do, and I was just trying to figure out how do I help this person? They're thinking they're going to be foreclosed out. Like, what can I do? I don't know. I don't know how this is going to go. Like, I don't know how to give you hope. I don't know how to encourage you because your situation, you know, I don't know if it's going to be okay. And it's been just very neat to see the other side of that. There is a portion of people that I can help. And if I do this, there are businesses that I can help save. And now it's so neat. Like, I tell you, to be able to now see businesses now getting like forgiven for these loans that they were like terrified at the beginning. Are we really going to get forgiven? Is this, what am I going to be able to meet all the rules? And now to be able to see the relief that, oh my gosh, I just had like a $200,000 loan forgiven, you know, and just that emotional relief to see the other end of it, and for them to say thank you. Like, I wouldn't have even known to do this. That has now started to come full circle. And we're still in the middle. I mean, we're still, you know, still working to get people the help that they need, but now we can at least see like, okay, it's working.
Well, you've done a lot of good for a lot of people, so keep doing what you're doing. And thanks for letting us in here to your office to hang out with you for a little while today.
Thanks for coming. I know. Thanks for coming to Franklin.
This season on the SBA Roadshow.
Whether you're a young child or whether you're a business person or whether you're supporting somebody else or you're celebrating in a restaurant, there's a memory made.
I had a belly button business. My girlfriend at the time didn't like that business as much, but